Hello, welcome to kama.ai's Designed Experiential Intelligence, otherwise known as kama.ai. Today we will be demonstrating how to add a value rating question to an FAQ to deliver prioritized solutions for your consumers and users. Today's demonstration will align with Purple, our book retail demo, and show how the value rating input can be inserted to improve the effectiveness of user interactions with your virtual assistant. To begin, let's take a look at our Purple demo and request a book recommendation. So we'll go ahead to the bottom right-hand corner where we can open a new conversation and type in our email address. And we are going to request a book about sailing. So I'm going to say, I want to learn about sailing. And here you can see we're given immediately 2 books about sailing. However, they're right now not personalized in any order based on any user values that we've input today. In contrast, as seen in our Purple demo, the 3 young adult fiction books were able to be recommended based on the user's immediate value inputs and thus became more personal and accurate of a response. Especially with a large-scale catalog, it would be extremely beneficial to be able to nudge the user by listing the best match first and increase the likelihood of consumer satisfaction. This is exactly the difference a value rating question can make, so let's see how to set that up. Let's first begin with evaluating our baseline FAQ for the young adult value rating question and ensuring everything is prepped for us to start. So first, we're here in the kama.ai admin system, so we can go ahead on the left-hand side and navigate to our knowledge records. Here we're just going to search young adult and see that all the knowledge records with the term young adult attached to it will show up. So let's first highlight a couple key knowledge records which will be crucial for our value rating question. First, you can see that the main problem KR, person can request young adult fiction, is already input here. Along with that, we can look at our 3 young adult books, Felix Ever After, To All the Boys I Loved Before, and We Were Liars, which are set to be a type of young adult fiction. However, if we were to type in Felix, we would also see that Felix Ever After has a knowledge record stating you may like Felix Ever After, in addition to is a type of young adult fiction. Now we need to understand that this specific knowledge record type that allows solutions with various names or key terms to be found in a particular problem case is called the is a type of relation type. Now, this special relation type is used to associate products or services with various names or key terms in kama.ai to a particular product or service category. For example, that may include different models of SUVs in an automotive context, or in our demonstration today, different book titles in a particular reading genre. Note that the categorization is a type of is required even before the value rating is introduced, because we need to get all the books of that genre showing up as solutions to young adult fiction, and that's why they're already in place at the start. To be clear, you need both the solution you may like Felix Ever After and the categorization record Felix Ever After is a type of young adult fiction. Now that we have both our problems and our number of book solutions for this problem, we can begin to think about the order in which they're presented. Now, as shown in the demonstration earlier with the books about sailing, we saw that it showed up in just an arbitrary order. Any prioritization was happening behind the scenes, and the user themselves had no input or no effect on the actual values that they have. So in order to affect these values, we need to actually go to the personality knowledge rating. Now here in our personality knowledge rating section, we can take a look at what values and ratings are already existent in these knowledge records that we have previously set up. So if we click on select persona, we're going to go ahead and choose the avid reader persona, and we can search young adult. Now again, we see person can request young adult fiction, and if we were to open this up, we can see the 5 different values that have been placed under this genre: adventure, diversity, fantasy, humor, and romance. Now, these values are also going to be the things that we want to put under our solutions. So if we were to look up Felix, we would see that Felix Ever After has these same values, except that the scaling is going to be different depending on the type of book that Felix Ever After is. So some might be higher in value while others lower in value. Of course, these values are very dependent on the genre. So if we were to look at a different genre like lifestyle, we would see that the values that are used to determine lifestyle are wildly different than the young adult fiction. And now this would all be set up by the book marketer or marketing team or anyone involved in the data collection and data management of your knowledge records and value ratings. Corporations could use the information and trends that they know about their customers and of their products in order to reflect the most relevant values for each of these knowledge records. With this setup, we can now begin step 1 to implementing a value rating question. Our first step is to create a new knowledge record of another particular type, which specifies we are going to have a value rating layer for this FAQ. In this case, the relation type is called can rate values for. So we're going to go ahead and navigate up here to add item, which will bring up another window where we can select our terms. So we'll select the left term, and here we can go ahead and find person. Select that. Now under relation type, we're going to find can rate values for right here. And then for our right term, we can select young adult fiction right here. And with that, we click add item. And now we have a new knowledge record, person can rate values for young adult fiction. So now that we have our person can rate values for young adult fiction knowledge record, we're going to find our person can request young adult fiction and navigate to this drop-down menu right here. Clicking it, we can see there's a couple of different options, but we're going to click KR link. Now, KR links are essentially a way to connect two different knowledge records based on a number of different functions. For our sake today, the function is to collect values from the user at a certain point. So we're going to add item right here. And you can see that by clicking through that drop-down menu, it's already put in person can request young adult fiction for us. So all we need to do is click the link term, and we're going to select has value rating KR. And then for the right KR, we're going to click here and type in young adult. And we're going to attach person can rate values for young adult fiction. And select. And once that's done, we can add the order position. Now, in this case, the order is arbitrary. Order is primarily used to show linked optional KRs in a list. For example, when you want to specify the order in which different solutions are shown. For value rating questions, there's only ever going to be one of these, and the order is immaterial. So we will just put the order as 1, since it is a necessary field. And we'll go ahead and add item. And there we go. We have our KR link. Now that the KRs are linked, we can go to the persona we would like to connect this to and set up which values we're going to be rating. So we'll go ahead to the left-hand side to find personality knowledge rating. Here we're going to select the persona average reader again and type in young adult. Now in our example, the value rating record would be created by the marketing types that would also set the appropriate values for each book genre. While a one-to-one match is not absolutely necessary, the rating personalization will work best if the value rating questions have the same values as the solutions, the books in this case, that are being personalized. As I showed earlier in this demo, the values for young adult fiction are adventure, diversity, fantasy, humor, and romance. So in this case, we're going to add those very same values to the rating KR that we've just created. So we're going to go ahead and click Add Knowledge Records, and we'll search for that young adult fiction rating knowledge record. Person can rate values for young adult fiction, and we can click this green button, Add and Rate. Now this window allows us to choose from a plethora of different values in the kama.ai database, so let's go ahead and start with adventure. Now, Clicking on adventure, we can see that we have this scalar value at the top. Negative value ratings are going to be reserved only for problem knowledge records, whereas solutions are positive. So in this case, we're going to want to set this at an average 5 between 0 and 10. It is important to set all of these value rating question values at 5 to ensure that we're not adding any bias to the values when presented to the users. Only when the FAQ triggers should the customer be able to adjust how high or low the value should be from this average 5. So we're going to go ahead and click Add and Continue, and then we can repeat that step with the rest of the 4 values that we have left. And there you go, we have all 5 of our values ready to be rated. These ratings will now be able to change the personality ratings of the individual users using this virtual assistant and compare them to the rating of the various books in our catalog. So, for example, if we go and check out We Were Liars, we can see that of the 5 values, different values are going to be rated higher versus others. Adventure and fantasy here are high in value, whereas diversity and humor are on the lower side. And this varies depending on the book that we're trying to search for. So for example, Felix Ever After will have different values than We Were Liars. Here, it has more of a priority in diversity and romance versus adventure, fantasy, and humor. Now that we've created this value rating question layer, we're actually able to go back to the Purple demo and watch how this has changed in real time. Here we are back at the Purple site. Now we're going to start a new conversation once again. Here, adding in our email. And this time we're going to just ask a very simple question. I need a book. Now we're going to click on You Can Request Young Adult Fiction and see our new value rating question layer pop up. So as you can see, they're all set to our basic average 5, and we can move the slider up or down depending on what we as a consumer are looking for or value at this moment. So for example, we might do something with high adventure and high fantasy, and maybe the rest are not too important. We can click Save and Continue, and this will take us to our results. And we can see that We Were Liars is at the top, just like before when we were looking at those values and saw that We Were Liars was high in adventure and fantasy and low in the other values. This now is taking that new information and adapting to our own personal values. We could try this again and say, I need a book, and click on Young Adult Fiction. And this time we'll do low adventure and low fantasy, and we'll look for more of a romance, diversity, and humor book. Now, if we remember correctly, this should then pop up with Felix Ever After, as that was a high diversity, high romance, and humor book. And as you can see, again, it is popped up as the top, showing that this combination of values aligns most with the book Felix Ever After. So note, not only are we able to see that in this moment our preferences are being understood, but we are also now understanding something about this user's values and can update that into their personal value profile, irrespective of any particular book. This may be helpful in recommending other products or services to this user in the future. And there you have it. You have successfully added a value rating question to your FAQ. This capability is one of many ways that Kama's designed experiential intelligence supersedes the current market for responsible personal AI. As a summary, let's review how we developed this value rating question. Number 1, create a set of product or solution knowledge records. In our case, these were You May Like Felix Ever After and the other young adult fiction books. Number 2, decide on a category of product. In our case, this was the young adult fiction genre. Number 3, add the product knowledge record to the category with is a type of relation types. Number 4, add the problem knowledge record to the persona and decide the value ratings for the given situation. Number 5, add those same values to the various products. Number 6, Create a person can rate values for knowledge record and attach that to the problem knowledge record using KR links. Number 7, add the value rating question to the persona and rate all the same values with a +5 as to not create a biased response. And finally, number 8, fine-tuning. Tune the values of the particular solution records ratings on the base persona to achieve the behavior you want based on your user value input on the rating question. By being able to attune to these values of your customers, your enterprise can increase the success rate of conversation to purchase pipelines and develop a better understanding of the values and needs of your customers. If you're interested in learning more about our technology or how you can enhance your conversational AI systems, visit our contact page at kama.ai or request a personal demo.